Listen testing the Quick Brown Fox from Super Lazy Yellow Dog. Good evening, everyone. Why? Oh, because I didn't save the game when I left. Okay, this might take a bit longer to load than I thought. I thought that even though I forgot to save the game, the settings would have saved. But anyway, so I don't have much plan for what we're doing other than making money. Because we have like 30 grand, one field that's not going to be harvestable for a year, and tractors that can't do much work. In fact, I am going to maybe spend some time later on after we maybe do a couple contracts just looking to see if we could trade in one of the tractors for one with more horsepower that we can actually use. Because that's kind of the issue we got right now, is our Fiat doesn't have enough horsepower in our other two tractors, one of which buying was a mistake, but it was very cheap. So I just bought that one to move trailers around using the front, and that didn't end up working because the hitch on it was fake. But it's a good tractor for driving around. So, as you can see, we have our field over here, which we have planted with canola. It is growing, but it's going to take like about 1 year, and we've only got 34 grand. It does need lime. We could do that. But apart from that, we can't really do anything with that other than put lime and fertilizer on it and weed it when it needs weeding. So what I want to do is look at this and see, ideally, there are not any spreading. Because spreading lime and fertilizer is... Oh, wait. Okay, it's a very large field, though. It's 40 hectares. That might take all day. That's the issue with this map. All the things are too big. What is this? Oh, it's a tiny little field over there. All the harvesting ones are just too much work. Plowing, we just don't have the horsepower on our tractor, and it's just not worth the money. I don't even know how to do rock removal. Or wait. Oh, I can't teleport there. It just says destroy rock. But, okay, the lease would be 400. I guess let's... Oh, wait, there is... I've never done a wood transport before, though. The issue with spraying is I don't think we have a sprayer. Where is... There it is. I don't see one. And I'm fairly certain I did not buy one. Because solid fertilizer can go in that, and that has a much wider range than the ones we can afford. That's our planter. Yeah. Damn it. So we don't want to do harvesting, because that'll just take too long. And most of these are ones that we'd have to lease anyway. We don't have the stuff to wrap bales. Let's see, that reduces it by 400. It doesn't say anything about loading, though. So we just have to pick them up with the bale wrapper on the tractor, which they provide. Wrap them. And we're done? And we get 18 grand? Okay. Borrow items. Okay. Oh, this is a modded tractor, I think. Why is the... Oh, that's my sprayer. So I do have a sprayer. It's just a fairly small sprayer. Okay. Go into the view that we can actually see what we're doing. Oh, wow, this thing accelerates quickly. Okay. Where are we going? Field 6. There are no weighted waypoints anymore from what I understand. Okay, so we go, take a right and then go left. Jeez, yeah, this accelerates very quickly. Does it have fucking air conditioning? It's too low resolution and in Japanese, so I can't see. Well, it's in kanji, so if it was in katakana or hiragana, I could at least try, but it's too low resolution. Switchable four-wheel drive. Though I don't... This is a thing on a lot of new tractors, and again, it's just me not being... Most of the tractors I've familiar with are from the 50s. But I'm used to the throttle being on the steering wheel, or near the steering wheel. Like, the equivalent on this tractor, like, on a lot of them, they're either above where that gauge cluster is, behind the steering wheel, or they, like the 8N, are on the steering wheel, kind of like you would have a stock for turn signals, or, I guess, ignition advance and retard. But that's probably not a very good example because that hasn't been a thing since like the mid-1910s. No, the Model A did have ignition advance, spark advance that you had to worry about. But I think it was mostly when starting. Okay, so big field, but how do we wrap bales? Let's slow down, zoom out a bit, unfold bale wrapper, X. Okay. Turn on automatic drop, Z. I'm guessing that just drops it when it's done. So we drive it in, it automatically grabs it and wraps it, and we can do it while moving. It does take a little while, but and we're done. Okay. It's not exactly a quick process, but we can definitely do it. And I mean, one bale is 3%, so that means there are 100 divided by 3. 33 1/3 bales. Wait, what is 100 divided by 3? I am very stupid. Yeah, 33 bales. Well, 33 1/3 bales. Each one takes about 20 seconds, but we can reduce the time in between each one by going to the next one while we're on the way. So yeah, it's only reduced by, oh god. No. Don't make me back up a trailer. What the fuck? I do not understand this trailer. Okay. So yeah, we're already a 10th of the way done, but we have not done 10 bales, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know, maybe you just don't have to do all of them to get the reward. Okay. So this is gonna give us a decent influx of money. I mean, it was what, 20? I'm used to Oblivion, I'm pressing tab! 18 grand minus 400 for the lease. And this isn't gonna take very long, and we're getting 18 grand. That is very good. I should probably change the time scale away from 1. Let's change it to 5x. Okay. Wait, I could just turn off field stones? Okay. I need whether or not you even have weeds. Dirt, automatically just start stop and go braking. Trailer fill limit. Yeah. That sounds like a good idea. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna turn those off. Even though I don't use AI workers for things that would be easy. Also, apparently time passes when in the menu. This is actually kind of fun. Oh. I've never really dealt with bale wrapping because it's to make silage, right? It's just kind of not a thing that's done around here very much. Like, baling is done, but I've only seen wrapped bales around here, like, twice. It's a big thing overseas, I know that. When I was in Iceland, you'd see bales, wrapped bales everywhere. They joke that the white ones are marshmallows and the black ones are licorice. When all they are is hay in a wrap. Like, ones wrapped in the twine netting are quite common. Like it. But I don't think that's really anything different. That's just for decoration at, like, events. Because they wrap them in, like, red, white, and blue wrapping, and it looks like shit. All I know is this machine is very fancy. And I'm very bad at driving this tractor. It's too fast. Oopsie. How do you even design something like that? Like, let's pick up this next one. So presumably in real life, it wouldn't automatically detect. I don't know, it does have a laser thing, so maybe it does. But so it picks it up. It magically starts it. And wraps it all around while the bottom thing's kind of undulated about. And rotate it. And then it stops. It releases it. Like, how can you do that? Technologically, How? Come on. Grab it. Yay! And we're a quarter of the way done, somehow. This doesn't look like a quarter, but it says it's a quarter. Okay. There we go. Yeah, this tractor's too quick. If I could have just rented the bale wrapper for like only like a $250 or $300 thing, that would have been fine. I don't know what its horsepower requirement is, but it's mostly just driven off the hydraulics. There's no PTOs, so it shouldn't be that much. I'm not too familiar with modern tractors, but usually the auxiliary PTO, which is like hydraulic, belt power, that kind of thing. Usually that's only like 90% of the standard PTO's output. Equivalent horsepower, whatever. But again, I am not familiar with modern tractors. Because, like, if it's a tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, which I do know exists, like, couldn't you just use that to power? Because it would still be taking power away from the engine, the same as any other PTO. Except it'd be, you know, kind of more like a belt, rather than... Because the belt still will work when the tractor is... Oh, no, wait. You see, I'm used to vehicles with a live PTO. But, that's not how things are anymore. Because I'm used to, if you are going about and you have, say, a brush hog or something with large rotational mass, it will make the tractor continue moving because it's revving up the centrifugal force stored in the blades, or whatever the rotating mass is, puts energy back into the gear train. Because I don't even think you can really, like on an 8N, I don't think that you can shut the PTO off. It's always on. And the 8N doesn't have an auxiliary PTO of any sort, so typically they were, for hydraulics, for loaders and stuff, were usually off of a front pump that goes off the crankshaft. Typically through the front of the grill and everything. You'd think that they'd just, like, make it driven off the fan belt or something, but I don't know. I'm not a designer of 1950s hydraulics. I'm not a designer of hydraulics at all. Hydraulics scare me. Pneumatics I understand, but hydraulics, like, I've had to work on some hydraulics before. It is terrifying. Like with pneumatics, if something fails, if a line fails, okay, you make a new line. It's not that big of a deal. Hydraulics, a line fails, well, you're out a lot of money because the lines aren't cheap, and you've got oil everywhere. Now you gotta buy oil, and the oil's expensive. Like, I have a thing of shock absorber oil, which I think is useless. It doesn't say what weight it is. It just says it's for a X type of shock, but this is from like the late 40s, so I don't know what those types of shocks are because there's two specific brands. Like, will they work in my motorcycles? If they ever need shocks rebuilt, which hopefully they won't, but they are very old. I don't know. I've had a gin and tonic here for 20 minutes now. I haven't drank any of it. new tonic water is very fruity. We're halfway there. Whoa! Ho! Wrapping some squares, even though they're rectangular. Whoa! Ho! Wrapping squares, wrapping squares. Runny up. So there's a cup holder there. Wait. I can't tell, but that looks like it's one of those ashtrays that you put in the cup holder. I guess it is a Japanese tractor. Gotta have an ashtray. That's the thing, I mean, American cars had a lot of ashtrays, but British and Japanese, I think it's just because a lot of British people smoked, a lot of Japanese people smoke still. I mean, a lot of people in the US smoke, but, you know, typically they don't care about their cars if they smoke. Like, I worked auto body, and Jesus Christ, because I was the automotive detailer, and the interior of a lot of these cars that would get in from insurance claims, they were disgusting. But I couldn't spend any more time, but I'd get yelled at. Then again, that employer was terrible. They tried to defraud me out of money. They forced me to they had terrible OSHA safety practices. That's why I left, because I did not feel safe. They forced me to operate a forklift with no training other than the levers have images of what they do, and that's it. He let his young children, toddlers, run around the body shop where cars are being driven around, power tools. It's very loud, unattended. Like, the guy should be in prison, and OSHA didn't do shit about my report because they're lazy bastards or something. I don't know. I've never worked with OSHA apart from one time, and they said, "Oh, can you inspect it?" No, I am not a trained OSHA inspector, and if I go there, they're gonna try to defraud me out of money. And they also stole some of my wages. I made track of every time card I got, and on multiple occasions, they paid me for less than I earned. Which, I mean, did lower my tax bracket, possibly. I don't know. I paid a lot in tax, but outside of returns, I think I paid like 30 cents because I was well under the poverty line last year. Which is gonna be weird this year because, like, I'm gonna have had a job for a full year because I haven't had major health issues that forced me out of the workplace. So, like, it's gonna be weird doing my taxes. Not everything is going to be zero. Don't tell me I'm a bit too far off. No, I'm gonna have to drive back around. Okay, 30%, so 10 more bales. I think. Yeah, this is actually a really fun mission. Like, I still am not too familiar with the whole bale wrapping, and this machine is witchcraft, and like, I know it's for silage or whatever. It's so that the bales ferment. But, like, why? Because that's just not something that's done around here. Same thing with, like, those sprinklers that go in the circles. I forget what they're called. They're just not done around here. Like, up in Gaylord, there's quite a few of them, but they're growing vegetables up there. Not wheat, barley. I don't know what that is. I got an achievement. But like around here, the main crops are beets, wheat, sometimes barley, just grain, I guess. It's hard to tell. Because they call it winter wheat. It's a wheat that you plant in fall and then harvest in the spring. I'm not sure if that is actually wheat or if it's barley or some other grain. And then soybeans are also common. Corn and pickles. And that's basically it. Like, I did have the farmer that I was neighbors with did have a field of cannabis. There was the stuff for THC, and there was it's like you couldn't actually smoke it, and I mean you could probably still use the hemp for rope and stuff, but nobody's investing in hemp for cheap, strong textile products. They invest in it because it's a drug. And also it had pumpkins and stuff. That pumpkins are fairly common because they can get more out of them. And I guess sweet corn is a small crop. It's not done on the same scale as like field corn. Usually it's maybe an acre per farmer at most, and then they sell it at a stand. And if that, I mean, they have a lot, but most of the farmers that I know that do sweet corn, most of their fields are big fields, and I know for sure that they don't have sweet corn in them. So either they have small fields someplace I don't know, or it's like they mix or do it on the edges or something. I don't know. We don't farm. We contract that out. Because farming is too expensive these days. I mean, we could theoretically farm, but the largest tractor our family owns is a Farmall 300, which can only handle a 2-bottom plow. Apart from that, I mean, there's like a cub and stuff, but that's the only thing with a 3-point hitch. I mean, we have 2-bottom plows and cultivators and drags, and we have a seeder, but it has been in the trees for about 30 years, and it's also about 80 years old, give or take a couple decades. I think this next bale's the last one, and that'll have made us almost doubled our, well, not doubled, almost added 1/3 to our net worth. Not net worth, our gross income, our holdings, no. Our liquid assets, that's the word. Oh, I want to drop the bale on the road. Yay, we did it. I'm gonna drive the tractor back to the place because I need to be there anyway. Wait, oh no, I made a wrong turn, but I didn't even know there was a little town here. Technically, can't I just like... Whoa, it's like a car. I'm gonna drop the baler. Yeah, they can deal with it. Neat. Okay. Because I don't think you have to return... So like now I'm guessing... It's complete. Oh, collect. Wait. I didn't ever collect the contracts that I did. Well, now we've got 57,000. What contracts are there available right now? That would take very long with our stuff. That would take even longer. That is quite valuable, though. I mean, we could borrow it and get 600 reduction out of 200,000, but this would take probably about 6 hours at least. these are all not... Yeah. The harvestings aren't worth it. I mean, that one, but it's only given 10. Plowings are not useful. What is... Let's go to 95 and see what the hell that means. Map. 95. So this is... Ooh. So it's a forestry tile. Oh, are these the rocks? So it's just destroy some things. Okay. And how much does that give me? $2 grand. And I'm only going to walk away with 1,800 of it. Because of the contract cost. Spraying 15, it's 15 hectares. I don't know how these 19 trees, they're already cut. I don't know. None of these are contract. Oh, there's a new deadwood contract, and it's literally right next to the sawmill. Okay. Yeah, I'll accept that. I'm only getting $1 grand for it, but sure. Okay. Really, I shouldn't even bring the trailer. I can just carry it. But I'm going to. I have the trailer parked over here. What's the button to turn on the... Oh, wait, this doesn't have beacon lights. I want to see my beacon lights spin, but most of my tractors don't have them. Okay, so we need to make it all the way down there. I'm gonna take the quick way through this ditch. That's the quick way. And then through our neighbor's field because they are richer than us. And also, are these dead? They're potatoes that need the foliage removed. And they've got partial weeds. He's a terrible farmer. He should just give me all his money and equipment. For being such a bad farmer. Am I even going in the right direction? Or am I going too far? No, I'm at the right angle, roughly. Okay, little Ford. Let's go. I should have took the Farmall. That's quicker, but it doesn't have the loader. But at the same time, I have the super strength thing because I suck at operating the tractor. And it's literally, the deadwood contract is at the sawmill. So, like, what's the point? Okay. This is good. It's going to take longer to get there, I think, than actually doing the contract. Though the good thing about deadwood contracts is you get paid per tree cut down. And then you can sell the wood and you get the money. So, like, really, any money... I'm getting $1,000 just for cutting down 6 trees. Which isn't very much, but each tree is going to give me, like... Which I'm going to cut it into smaller things, because last time I tried doing full trees, it gave me less money for them. So, I think it's better to just spend more money on, or just spend more time cutting the trees up into smaller things so that they fit in the cell zone. Because I think what happened is, because even though the tree is bigger, because only part of it was in the cell zone, the parts outside of the cell zone were considered not in the cell zone, so weren't sold, but since they were attached to the part in the cell zone, they were deleted. So pretty much on this map, this is the largest logging trailer you can use, because that's all that fits in the cell zone. Because the cell zone is tiny. And this is a Giants map, and it's like the car traffic is not great. There's very little of it. It's just like some of the crops in the fields, like, I know that's kind of a thing, but like, sugarcane, like, so you can't even really use, unless you spend, or even like beets. You can't do anything with beets without a lot of money. Let's collect this dead wood. Or just cut it down and then I'll see if we even need to bother loading it up. Because you can see it on the map. That dark blue dot is where you sell it, and that green dot is where the trees are. So, or actually no. This is where you sell it. And that's where the trees are. I don't even see any dead wood. Oh, over there. Well, that's not where the map marker is. Where is it? Honestly. Yeah, I might as well do it properly though. What is this? Square. Is that for production point? Is that what that is? And then this is sell wood. Okay. So that's where if you own the production point, which is 100,000, you get pallets, or you can make pallets or something. Well, they're all in a nice line. And they're right next to it. So let's grab out our chainsaw. Cut it as low down as we can get for more wood. Okay, rotate. Get off all the branches, because I think those reduce sale value. I don't know if they actually do, but I assume they do, so I'm saying that they do. Okay, cut there. Do a cut here. I'm not allowed to cut this tree. Motherfucker, you commissioned me to do just that. Okay, is it just because... Yes, so because this is outside of... It fell outside of the range. Oh. Oh, actually that one's light enough even without super strength. Yeah, it's probably going to be quicker to just load them onto the trailer. That one's too heavy, so toggle super strength. If I could afford a skid steer or any loader other than this, I would use that, but I can't, and the controls for this, it just is has too much range. I need something worse. Okie dokie. That's another log. Okay, now I have to move this over here so that I can cut it. Which is dumb. Cut it straight to... I don't know, that just makes sense to me. And then another cut here. Okay. So a couple of these are going to be a bit long, but that's fine. And this one. And now the final one. Okay. Let's just load as many as we can. We are going literally 20 feet over. I don't know why, because this plot is the one that the sawmill is owned. Why don't they just cut the trees themselves? They are a sawmill. Yes, I know a sawmill does not mean lumberjacking, but it's a sawmill. They cut trees. Pick up all the branches. Okie dokie. Let's cut about here. So yeah, if I didn't have the super strength, I think I would be screwed on this one. Because I'd have to essentially just push with the tractor that until it's in this little patch of grass, which is just dumb. Like, it's all on the property, from what I understand. Like, this is all plot 22 or whatever. So why is it considered different? Okay, I think we're just gonna have to do them 2 at a time, because that's all the trailer can fit. But we're gonna be getting, I mean, it's only gonna be a grand or two. It's not much from this. But it gets rid of, I guess, no, fine. Move the tree a bit to the right. Now I can cut the tree. Now, something I do want to do, however, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it because my farming simulator streams, especially the VODs, already don't do very good. But there is a Farming Simulator 22 map that is Mars. I want to do that, but it's Farming Simulator 22. So, like, no one's gonna watch it. Okie dokie, let's sell our... Wait, I do wonder, what is this? Is that for... I don't know, there's nothing there. I'm guessing that's for when you own the business to, like, deposit stuff. Anyways, we overshot that a bit, so just to be safe, let's back it up. There we go. And sell wood. $306 euros. And fasten tension belts. Like, it's not much money. We're making about $2 grand from this contract. But, like, it doesn't matter. It's literally just cut down tree, move it 10 feet. Cut down tree, move it 10 feet. Yes, the way that they have the zone laid out makes it harder, but it still is quite easy. Okay, that's basically as low as we can get it. And it falls... I don't know how you're supposed to make it fall in a certain direction. Like, I do in real life, but I don't think that's applicable to the game. And there we go. Okay, well, I guess I could just start with this bit. Come on, little tree piece. There you go. cut this one here. Okie dokie. Set it down. The next one, cut it about here. And up. And good enough. And then I'd say about here. Okay. Get that loaded up. I do wonder how much regular trees are worth. Because I've only done deadwood missions because our farm doesn't... our plots don't... our 2 plots don't have any trees. Like, how much are they worth? And also, like, grass. How much is that worth? But I know that's relying on having enough grass to fill a baler, and that is more than you would think. Okay. We cut it this way, it will fall straight left. Fuck. Okay, so you cut it towards the way you want it to fall. Over. There we go. With that fixed, we can now rotate that. And head along with the saw and cut off all the branches, which really, some of these branches are wider than the tree is at its top. So why can't I just cut them off and actually sell them? I'm fairly certain that having branches on the tree reduces its sell value. I know it reduces the ease of transport. Well, I guess we will see. I will leave the branches on that one, and it will probably change absolutely nothing because we are selling 2 trees at once. But honestly, I just can't be bothered to get that put on it. Move the tree over 10 feet. Now we have access. I guess they just don't want sawdust on their gravel path. You know, that's too hard to get off. You know, when you're at a sawmill, the last thing you expect to see is sawdust. So, like, you know, if there are any tourists or something, they would, you know, shit their pants upon seeing that there's sawdust at the sawmill. So we gotta be mindful of their reputation. Okay, I'm just gonna... I guess I'll put those 2 on. Now we've got 3 left. Okie dokie. Park. Move further. That's good. And sell 2 trees. 219 for 2 trees compared to 309. So, you must get less. That must be true that you get less if there are branches. If the trees were the same height, so unless it's because I cut them in different lengths, or that the value has rapidly decreased for some reason, it's probably just that. Let's cut them facing that way this time. Let's cut both at once because they are literally right next to each other. And actually, we're probably going to go with all 3 on this one trip. That way we don't have to take 2 trips. So in fact, let's do a 3-fer. Let's go over to the tree over here. And cut it down, and it should fall that way. Okay. There's angle, and just a mess of branches. But I think we've got most of them. Okay, that I think is all of them. Let's start loading up the trailer. Or maybe I'll just cut them all first and then load up the trailer. That will save up a slight amount of time. How much? I don't know, 20 seconds? I don't even know where the end of this tree is. I shall cut it here. Okay. Oh, there's branches on that. Put it down. Did I get rid of the branches? Nope, and the tree is very long. Die, branches. Well, the tree's already dead, so I guess not die. Oh no, it's just gotta use the other meaning of die. The branches, the. Ich bin ein tree. Okay, let's grab the rest of our... Is the branch gone? I have a feeling it's not. Nope, it is. Load that. More branches. Did that get rid of the one on the bottom? Yes, it did. Okay. That's fine. We have to go 10 feet anyway, so it doesn't matter how well it's put on the trailer. I don't even really need to use the tension bands, but I am going to. Okay. Put a cut there. Put a cut there. Put a cut here. Put a cut there. Take care of the branch. Another branch. And a cut here. Oop, that's longer than I thought. Okay. Drop it there. Okay, that should be all of that. And cut it here, and hopefully that's in the middle. And here. Okay, now it's all our big pieces. There we go. Okay. And that's another one. And I think there's one more for this tree, and then there's obviously the third tree. Which is gonna be fun to load because there's not much room left on the trailer. But it doesn't matter. We've already completed the terms of the contract. Oh no, there's another little bit of tree. So all this is just bonus money. It's not much bonus money, but it is bonus money. Like, I don't understand even why having branches on it would decrease the value. Like, it's more tree. It's deadwood. This is not going to be used for, like, cabinets. It's going to be turned into, like, wood chips or something. I don't know. Or, like, charcoal or just burned. Where'd the other tree go? Oh, there it is. Whoa. Oh, fuck. Nope, you're fine, little tree. I just didn't realize that this thing had a mind of its own. Okay, cut here. Cut here. And cut here. Take care of the small bit. What? It's too small to pick up? Or is it because I'm on it? No, I guess I cut it too small to pick it up somehow. Which makes no sense at all because... Yeah, why can't I pick that up? Oh, now I can. And it's really long. That's fine. Okay, that's another dead wood. Big one. And final 2 pieces, and then that's this contract finished. Then maybe alongside the Fiat, we might be able to trade it in and get something a bit more powerful. The only issue is we still need a tractor with a front PTO, which does restrict us, because otherwise getting something like an International 2+2 would be a good idea, because that has a lot of power, would be great for plowing, but the issue is there's no front PTO. So you can't use it for anything that requires a front PTO. Did I miss a branch? That felt like I missed a branch. But I can't see anything. And it might have just been turning around. I'll just go sell the wood. Not making sure not to look down because the gearshift animation on this is terrible. There's nothing wrong with the animation itself. It's just the clutch is not held in long enough. Okay, back it up a little bit further. I'll say there's good. Now all of the wood is within the box, and that's 415 euros. And now we can wait for it to save. We can leave the tractor to take off the ratchet straps. And now that's $1,000 euros. So now we almost have 60 grand. So let's get home. It's going to take a couple minutes because this tractor is quite slow. Come on, little Ford. Yeah, I should have probably, because I didn't even use the front loader at all. I should have just grabbed the International. Because I think that it doesn't even need a 3-point hitch. It just needed a drawbar. And that can go up to 35 kilometers per hour, while this is stuck to 29. What is that lever there? Is that an on-off for PTO, or... It's not throttle, I don't think. I don't know what is throttle, though. It would make sense. That's where the throttle is on the older Fords. And there is no animated thing. It must be the throttle. Because down there, from top left to bottom right, going left, down. Okay, so you got what should be the start switch, by the looks of it. Or it's just the ignition switch, because it doesn't look to have a key. Then below that, probably battery kill switch. at least based on the tractors I've dealt with. And then lights on the right, and then pull lever for the choke. It's confusing. Like, there's 2 gear levers, but it has a 4-speed gearbox with a single reverse. So what is the second lever for? It can't be a high-low thing, because then we'd have more gears. Well, it is getting dark. Let's turn on the lights. Hey! Watch where you're going! There's no traffic on these roads. It's the first car I've seen, like, in a while on this map. Which is fine. Traffic is annoying, especially like on the Frankenmuth map. There's just way too much traffic. It is constantly in the way. You go down a equivalent of 1 mile stretch in that area, and you're passed by 10 cars, which is realistic, but it's also a case of that's annoying. I don't play this to be realistic, because it already isn't, because the Frankenmuth map just isn't. Because there is fucking cotton as an option, and one of the fields comes with cotton. We don't grow cotton here. This ain't Alabama. Okay. Let's put the Ford away. Okay. Wrong key. So now let's just take a look at the contracts. There is another Deadwood at the exact same place for 1,500. Because there's more trees. I'm not going to do that right now. But, like, I just cut down 10 trees there. How are there 10 more? Are there any? The only fertilizing one is 3, which is a good contract to take, but it will take us a very... Well, yeah, it has an estimate. 6 hours to finish. Which is quite a bit. It's better than the 53 hours of the Deadwood. Or no, that's the deadline. You have to do it in 6 hours, while the Deadwood you can have 53 hours to do it. I think that... Why is that so much more? Like, you only have 6 hours to cultivate 88 hectares. Anyway, let's get unstuck and take a look at our Fiat Geary here. So that is 160 horsepower, which seems like a lot, except a lot of things require quite a bit more. It has the wide tires, it has the beacon light. That's not attached. It has the rear 3-point, and it has the front 3-point, which is good. However, it does only have 160 horsepower, which just isn't enough. So, well, if I sell it, it's just going to be... So now we're going to head to the shop. Wrong key. Shop. And we want to see how much we could get if we sold the Fiat. So we would get 35 grand back if we sold it. So that would be a budget of I want to still have some left over, so let's say 80 grand. So, and now we could also just upgrade it. I believe this is our Fiat. But we already have the, so we could give it 20 more horsepower for 10. But that still isn't that much. So the white, so our budget is 80. We could get 200 horsepower. Technically up to 225, but that's kind of pushing it. However, it does not have the option of a front PTO. The Challenger, I think, is the exact same as the white. They're both AGCO, so yeah. So the next one in our budget would be the Agros. Nope, that's out of our budget. It's slightly too expensive. So there is the Alice Chom. It's another AGCO. It's Alice Chambers, 9,700. Within our budget, we could get 200 horsepower. However, I'm assuming, yeah, there's no front PTO. Case Traction Series. Now, this will certainly have the horsepower, 210. However, no front PTO. So, that's kind of out of the running. There is the 6.71 AgroStar, but that's already at our budget, and that basically fills it only for 25 more. And there's still no front PTO. So that's just kind of not an option. But what about the Fed Favorite 600 series? We can get that up to 185 for 51. I'd like 200 horsepower, but that's not bad. Well, that's neat. But to add front hydraulics, that brings up even more, and it still only has 185. But that is a good option. Now, we do have the modded Fiat Gear, which might be the one we have, actually. But that's still limited to 180 horsepower. Now, there are the more modern Fendt. However, they are basically at our budget. Though, the engine upgrades are very cheap on it. 6,500. We can get 230 horsepower with front hydraulics, rear hydraulics, obviously. I'm just seeing, does that change anything? Missing Continental Midas. That does. Same with Nokian. Okay. And we could get wheel weights on it, but I'm not going to because we can do that later. The mirrors barely work. Beacon light we do need because that makes the thing on my desk work. So that's 120. So we're doing it as we would buy it. Reverse driving is just more gears in reverse, which I don't care about. If anything, that's detrimental to me because I don't want it to speed up too quick. GPS, I don't know how that works in game. So, like, I know how it works in real life, but in game, no clue. Ooh, and you could choose whether or not the fenders are faded and stuff. And you can get the faded long for... Okay. But we're just going to do it as we would buy it. Warning signs are free, and I like them. LEDs cost nothing. So we might as well. Front PTO costs an additional $3,000. I didn't realize that it didn't have a front PTO. Okay. So that is raising it a bit. So for 81 though, I'm gonna take a picture of this with my cell phone so that I can look at it and compare them, because I do not know where the hell to access the screenshots folder for this. I mean, I could probably figure it out, but I don't want to do that on stream. So this is a good option. 81 for 230 horsepower. And then this one, which is a slightly newer one, 84 for 230. And then this one, we're kind of already past that. This is... Oh, no, that's I think, the Fiat gear we have. Now, there is this Fiat, but that is much worse. The other Fiat gear is the row crop 7810. 175 base, but there's no way to get more horsepower out of it, and it's only rear-wheel drive. The Series L, though, is four-wheel drive. However, it has no front PTO. It is only 3-point. So that will not work. Same with the Series 2. That's probably not... Yeah, 105. We're not going to get 200 horsepower out of that. I mean, we could look at it, but... Yeah, we could get 203 for 60. But there's no front PTO. And there's no way of giving it a front PTO. What else is there? There's the 7010, which starts with... We could get up to 195, but that's still a bit less than I'd like. But it has the front PTO. Rear PTO, obviously. Let's just do it as we would. Chrome exhaust cover. That looks tacky. License plate. Exhaust or front grid? What? Exhaust? I'm confused. That is not changing anything. I will leave it on exhaust, I guess. And we can get a front loader, but we're not going to. Beacon lights, left, right, both. Mirrors. Extended mirrors would be useful if the mirrors worked. Wheel weights, wide tires, those are all more expensive. So we would stay with that. And I like... Well, if we could get... Vertestein. Well, if we could get the Nokians for free, sure. Okay, so I'll take a picture of this with my phone as well, because that is a good option. It's cheaper than the Fendt, while it does have less horsepower. And it is, well, a John Deere, so... But we don't have to deal with the dealer network or the stupid repairs on it. I hate John Deere. So that might be a good thing to consider as well. There's also the 7010 SL, which is from the same mod. What is different about that? It's modding. Oh, so it has more thing. D-Legend decals. A forest cage. Flasher. You can change the decal coloring. But that... within our budget, can get up to only 180. Okay. And then there is the 7810, which has no adjustable horsepower. Okay. So that's ruled out as well. The MF is going to be way too weak. Even with the biggest engine, it's too weak. I do not know why that is in the medium tractors. That is very much a light tractor. What else is there within our budget? Technically the TM, but it doesn't line up with our stuff. There is the Stara ST Max 150. That can have 210 for 57.2. But how much is it to get front reverse whistle? Yes, no. Attachers, design 2. Okay. So... it can have front 3-point with PTO, it looks like. reverse whistle, fender, design 1, standard, design 1, design 2, standard. Beacon lights, yes. GPS, no. Window, standard. Exhaust, standard. Wheel setup, we can get wheel weights that add 2 tons to the weight. I don't know what that thing is. Okay, so just standards. Ooh, there's actually some decent. Okay, so this one's the best option, I will say. Because that is 210 for 57 grand. I still don't know what that is. And now there is this stair. I'm thinking that's not going to be within our... Well, yeah, not enough horsepower within our budget. The Valmet Mega is from the same mod, so same deal. Okay. And I'm thinking everything in large tractors is outside of our budget. Well, we could afford a Steiger. Well within our horsepower requirements. But it's a split, which isn't ideal for me. And there are no... Oh, yeah. I forgot that this doesn't even have a 3-point by standard. But it has no front PTO or 3-point. Same with the Steiger Quad Track. And I'm thinking that's the only one within our budget in this menu. Unless I'm misremembering, which I might be. Oh, yeah, there is this, which is well within our budget, and we could have enough left over, but it's articulated, and honestly, the price is just a bit too low. It feels wrong. Now, there is also... I can't remember which category it was in. Is it in skid steer? Miscellaneous? Well, that was above our money threshold anyway. Yeah, I mean, like some of the small tractors, I know we didn't look too much at the small tractors just because there were so many, but like this Landani, it's just not enough. This, I don't know why that's the second one on the list. That's not exactly great. This Zetter, yeah, most of the light ones are just not going to give us the horsepower requirement we need within our budget. So there is, that's 100 up to 135. This one's within our budget, but it's not good. And there's that. This, though, that's starting 42. Its max is 145. Okay. Now, if we did save up a bit, we could get that, but no. How much was the Agros? Oh, but that's only 143, yes. But there is the DX3, which does have options, but it only goes up to 71 horsepower. Now, there is the DT75, which is a crawler. And it only goes up to 140 horsepower. I don't know what the difference between those two is. This Deutz-Fahr just doesn't have enough horsepower. So yeah, it's pretty much between that. Oh wait, are these Fendt GTA Turbo and Xylon? I'm not familiar with these. They don't make much sense. I'm guessing they're like a small displacement engine or something, but they're not within our horsepower requirements. Same with this. Though this one would be a good idea. It's got good visibility, rear 3-point, front 3-point, but it's kind of a case of eh. Now there is the Fiat 80C. That goes up to 130 horsepower. And like it it's it doesn't have a 3-point. Even though it does have a PTO. Now there is the Fiat Alice. That's only 120. That's like the stuff in this menu just aren't gonna be it. The 6610 is what no, we have that one. The Phosphorus ZT series. That is not within our horsepower requirements. The H definitely isn't. We already have a 423. 1000 series also just doesn't. The 2+2 would be great. Actually, this one would not. It does not have enough horsepower. And this definitely wouldn't. Kind of want it though. But it's not that useful. Yeah, that's light. Most of the ones left in here are all light. Well, it's small tractors. Like, that's kind of obvious. Like, I mean, theoretically, there might be something that would work and have, you know, would be, but it's just a case of there is not nearly enough horsepower from the small tractors. The Mahindra, yeah, 120, because these are all what I would say yard tractors. They're not meant for, I mean, they are, but they're not meant for large scale farming, which is all you can do in this game. There are very few maps with less than 1 acre fields. This one, most of the fields are 20 plus acres. So this, yeah, just within budget, we can't. The W4 definitely isn't. Now, there are these Mercedes-Benz tracks. They are nice, but they don't have the horsepower. Yeah, the Massey won't. This, I don't think will. Yeah. This does not. 8340 doesn't. Iron track, rubber track. But you're still limited, very limited in horsepower. Here's the T5. I like the T5. But it does not have 200 horsepower. Nothing in here will have the horsepower I want. So I don't know why I'm even looking. Other than I like doing that. Okay, large frame SDFs. Well, we're starting at 140. 160, 169, 140, 150, 160, 160, 169. Looks like 169 is the max horsepower out of this tractor. Okay. And we already looked at the stayers and the UTBs. We didn't look at the Volvos, but I'm fairly certain, yeah, 140. And then the Zetters. Let's see, 1045. That's going to be the largest displacement one. Yeah. And even the newer Zetters just don't. The newest one doesn't even have an option for things. So pretty much, let me just look at my photos on my phone. Pretty much we are between the Fendt Favorite 800 Turbo Shift LSE, which is Fendt 800 Turbo Shift LSE. This one. Which in the spec we would do it would be 230 horsepower, well above our our want of 200, it would be 81,620 and would be able to do 50 kilometers an hour, which would help going between place to place. But that would use up all of our budget. Pretty much. Next one, if I get to the thing, would be the John Deere 7010. This one, which would only have 195 below our want. And it only goes 40, which doesn't really matter. But that's only 77,680 as in its most powerful form. But while that would leave us with a bit left over, it doesn't have as much horsepower as we would like. And the last one is the Stara, this one. That is the cheapest. 210, which is below the 230 of the Fendt. And it can only go 38 kilometers an hour, so it is slower. But it's only 57,980. 930 even. So it's much cheaper than the Fendt. However, it does feel kind of cheaty. I guess what we could do is look at Stara's Wikipedia page and see if we like them. They don't have a Wikipedia page. They are from Brazil. Yeah, they don't have a Wikipedia page. So we will look at their website. Okay. That is a nice looking planter. But I would like to look at their tractors. Okay, that's not a good sign. They don't have them advertised on their website. And this does seem, it is .br.en, so I could switch it to Brazil, but we'll do that after we look. So, like, they do have some very nice auxiliary stuff, but if they don't make their tractors anymore, that's a sign that they weren't good tractors. Yep, so they don't make their tractors anymore. So we will be dealing with a vehicle with no dealer network. Oh, it does have a sunroof, though. It has some very... Let's set it up as configured. What was... Oh, that was just giving it rear weights. Exhaust standard, windows standard, GPS no, beacon lights yes, fender standard, reverse whistle yes, attachers design 2, which gives it... Should give it... It looks like it has front PTO. I see the PTO output shaft there. The real question is, does it actually, though? And then the bigger wheels. So that is the best option, price-wise. It doesn't have as much power as we would like. And we could, if we wanted to, we could not put a front loader attacher, even if though we would not want to. And I just realized these wheels have text on the side. Can I get Michelin's on them? Nope, it's either the 95, the 95, or the 95. Actually, there's only 2. This is the wide tires. That's the narrow. This is the better option. 100%. Because we would have 30 grand left over. Hell, we could keep the Fiat Geary and buy this. But is it worth it to buy this rather than the Fendt? Because 210 horsepower is good, but if we look at the plows, so this is the plow we have right now. 160 horsepower requirement, the largest plow we can handle. Then it pops up to 210. That one it could handle, but barely. We would not be able to do anything other than plow with it. And then from there, granted, neither would the Fendt be able to handle it, but they're all much higher horsepower requirements. In fact, yeah, does that 20 horsepower margin matter at all? $220. Okay, there it does. We would not be able to use this if we didn't buy the Fendt. Same with that one. And those are fairly good plows. I mean, we're looking at 3.5 meter width. Those are well above. And then those are small. And then, like, same with cultivators, you know. If we ever wanted a big cultivator, well, that's 650. That's a lot. How big is that? 18 meters, Jesus. But, like, that's 200. That's 220. We could not use this cultivator, shallow cultivator, if we bought that rather than the Fendt. Now, as for the ones we'd actually want to use, which are the 3-point ones, because I suck with trailers. This one would not be handled by the Fendt very well, but it still can. If there's like a 10 horsepower difference, they can usually handle it just with a lower operating speed and probably more wear on the vehicle. Like this one, the Fendt is the only one they could handle. And look at that, 7.5 meter width. It's a 6 meter width, but both of them could handle it. 8.3, 600. Okay, that's also one it can handle. But what about powered machinery? You know, if we wanted a big boy sprayer, they don't have horsepower requirements. Why not? That makes no sense. They're powered by the PTO. Okay. Those also don't have horsepower requirements listed. Mowers. That is something that I did have to sell our last mower because we didn't have enough horsepower, because I bought, I think it actually was this one here. But the Fendt could, or not the Fendt, the Fiat couldn't run it. And that kind of, like this, only the Fendt could handle that. I think even though it's probably a bad idea to go with the Fendt, it's a lot more money. Well, I guess balers also have horsepower requirements. Look at these. Those are some pretty high requirements. 250 for this class, which also is a windrower we're granted. Neither of them can handle that, actually. That's a bad example. So, our best option is going to be that Fendt, which means that we want to sell our Fiat Geary. Goodbye, Fiat Geary. I made a mistake buying you. It's now dark because time doesn't stop. And now go to Fendt 800 and set it up the way we need. So 230. We can put on the Nokian, which, are they the best tires? No. Oh wait, it does cost 1,000 more. Oh, you can put twin wheels on it. Okay, it actually does cost 1,000 more for those. So let's see. Michelin's are free. Verdensteins are free. Continentals and Past are free. Well, then I'm going to go with Verdensteins. And then any wider tires will cost us more. But these tires are already wider than the ones on the Fiat Giri. Reverse driving we do not need. It's just more reverse gears, I think, which I don't want more speed. Or more adapt. Oh, yeah, you can get a plate that goes on the wheels for wheel weights. But we don't need that. Okay. Mirror. Doesn't matter. Beacon light. Left plus antenna. Left, right plus antenna. Left 2. Left, right 2. Left plus antenna 2. Left, right antenna 2. Sure, do that one. I don't know what the difference is. GPS, I don't know what it does. Fenders, now we could spend a bit more, but they're still not the right color. So we could get the long fenders, but the shorts, I don't even see the difference. Like, they're the same length and the same width. So we're just going to keep them. Oh, wait, no, the faded are the free ones. The normals cost more, but they're still not the right color. So I'm just going to go with the faded long. Oh, wait, it doesn't mean the front fenders? Nope, those don't change. Warning signs are free, so of course we're doing them. LED lights, they're free, might as well use them. Reflectors, I don't even know what this changes. But sure. And then we need the front PTO. Okay. So that's this configured. It is already Fent green. Though there is Fent petrol, Fent red, Fent black, Fent orange, Class white, Fent blue. I do want to see, what does the Fent petrol look like? Okay, I think we're going with that. Yeah, that looks really nice. Yeah, when you think of Fent, you think green, but oh, that blue is so nice. Oh, is that the reflector? No. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. Now it's within our budget, 84. Barely, granted. Our budget was like 80. Why is this higher, actually? Oh, because it costs $2,500 to paint it? Okay. We're keeping it green because I don't want to spend more money. Okay. So this is going to be our new heavy tractor. It's very dark. I'm going to go to sleep, I guess. I can't remember how to turn on the flashlight. I can't see. I see the door. Am I inside the house? I am not. I'm not on the... There we go. Nope, that's not what we need. I see it. I see the sleep prompt. I'm falling off the stairs. Am I on the stairs? No. Wait, no, I'm on the stairs. Sleep! Sleep till 8 a.m. I don't care. Shoo, 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 shoo. Honk, shoo, 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 shoo. And now that's morning. We can pick up a brand new tractor. Sure, it might be limited. Well, not limited. 50 kilometers an hour is a lot faster than our current tractors. Did I just back into the wrong side? Yes, I did. How do I fix that? I have an idea. Okay, it does take a long time to change between front and reverse, though. Come on. Wait, I have super strength. Okay, so we want to just kind of drop it like that. Okay, that didn't do anything. If I just place it like that, get in. It's not doing anything. Okay. Okay, we kind of do that. No, stand back up. Come on. You can do it. Oh, get out of the ground. Great, our sprayer is in the ground. Okay, if we run away far enough, maybe it will come out. Yay, it did. Okay, so now we want to make it tumble. Drop. Okay, that was almost it. Okay, bit too far. And now it's in the ground again. Okay, wait, that's good. And we drop it. And it falls over again. Damn it! Okay. We run it into the tractor. That will build up momentum. And it will move the tractor towards me. That's not what I wanted. You know, fuck it. We shouldn't. This is a massive waste of money. But we're going to have to sell that sprayer. Bye-bye, sprayer. What a waste. But this might actually allow us to buy a better sprayer. Spraying contracts aren't bad. So that sprayer is this one, the Lizard Termite 413. That's 8 meters. And it is very cheap. But, like, so this, we can get 11 meters. It is more. Quite a bit more. Wait. Okay, yeah. And then that's an external tank. That's an external tank. That's a tank. That's for the Euro track. The Hardy from the base game, that's 24 meters, but okay, this requires an external tank. But that is 21 meters. Wait. Spritoport front tank GTA. Oh! That's for using with the GTA and Xylon. I see. But can it work with any tank? Because it has 200 liters of its own capacity. So theoretically, this could work with anything. You know what? We're going to risk it. If it fails and we bankrupt ourselves, then we're fucked. Okay, so that's a 1,200... No, 1,500 liter tank for $5 grand. We'd like to be a bit cheaper than that. 1,100 liters for $50 cheaper. These ones won't work because they're for specifically the Fent, Xylon, and GTA. But we do have... Oh, no, that's for the Jacoby Euro track. Okay. This, which is only 400 liters, that is tiny. Oh, because that's for the Gator. This is also not a good option. Don't we just have a mod that's just tanks? I seem to remember that, but maybe not. Or maybe it's in weights. That might be it. Where is weights? Because I seem to remember having more tank options. That's only 500. No. Huh. I guess I'm just misremembering. So I guess our option is to spend $5 grand on this tank. Or, I mean, we could save $500. Wait. No, because that's only 400 liters. Wait. Oh, this is a sprayer. This aerosols it. I thought that was just a tank for this. Okay. So yeah, maybe all in all we would have been... Well, no, because we're still going to be under 10 grand. So that's a $500 difference for 400 liters, which is quite considerable. So I guess it kind of does just... So this has auxiliary work lights, and it's got little wheels on the bottom. Well, that's not even in the question. It's expensive, and it has bad capacity. Then there was this, but that is $50 cheaper, and it's not good either. I think we'll just go with the Hardy. It's nice looking, it's base game, and it's probably good. Okay. So, now we need to figure out how we load this onto it. So it goes onto this side. Uh-oh. This is designed for the Fendt with... we might not be able to use this sprayer with this tractor, which is our only one with the front PTO. Which we don't need a front PTO, but we do need a front 3-point linkage. This is going to be close. Okay. We're fine. We did it! We loaded it on! Okay, so we'll work. We're just going to have to be super duper careful with this. And that's the tank. Turn on additional tank. Turn off additional tank. G. Turn on sprayer. Change work with. Unfold sprayer. Lower sprayer. Oh god, the visibility on this, especially with that, it's not great. Wait, why is the tank so high? How do I lower it? Lower the tank. It's not on the ground, is it? Oh, it is. It's got little casters. That's kind of cute. So I guess lift additional tank. Now the casters aren't on the ground. It's cute, but yeah, it's a bit big. But this sprayer will work. We're just going to have to store it on the back wall, which is perfectly fine. So we could go up to 21 meters, which is huge. Like, if I remember right, the self-propelled sprayers are about that much. So we are pretty much at the pinnacle of sprayer within our budget. You know, the reason why is because the seat height's too high. Like, the middle of my vision is in the ceiling. This is unrealistic. I am short. Okay. Issue. Currently, we have other things parked there. We can move the front weight. It's got to be out of the way, though. I hate 3-point front weights when you have to deal with them. It can go there for now, and if I fuck it up, hopefully I can fix it. And I guess, yeah, we can't just carry the spray or the planter. Cedar. Damn it, I messed it up. I told you it was going to happen, but it righted itself, so that's good. Okay, now for the hard part. Backing it in with that visibility, which isn't actually that bad, I guess. God, it takes a while to shift into reverse gearing. Okay. So our beautiful, beautiful new tractor. Look at that. It's got a little lever that locks the front of the hood to itself. It's got bolts that hold on the fenders. Wheel caps with the Fendt logo. Yeah, this is definitely the right purchase. Even if I can't open the sunroof. And now we can do spraying contracts. In fact, they are very profitable for us. Let's see, I don't have work in the morning. We could stream a bit further than, or longer than we need. What spraying contracts are there? There are none now. Now that we have a sprayer, no contracts. Plowing. We have enough power to plow now, but these are a bit big of field. That would take a while. I don't know how to do this. Least cost would bring it down to 1,800 profit. I don't know how it works. I'll have to look it up. Harvesting contracts just aren't worth it. Like this one is cotton, I think. So we have to lease, which removes 600, which would still leave us with 11 grand, granted. And like this one is potatoes, it looks like. That one is sugar beet, or not sugar beet, sugar cane. So is that one. We can't harvest any of these without leasing. So it's just not really worth it. I mean, I guess that's fine, but we're getting so little, even if it would take not long. And like that would be a great one to do. That would give us so much money, but we just would not be able to do it. Same with that. They're just too big a field. We don't have, because we can't afford any animal pens. We are basically broke now. We can do things now. You know what? We have the time. Let's do let's spray the lime on our field. What is currently in our sprayer? Is it fertilizer? I think it's fertilizer. How do I get the fertilizer out of the spreader? Uh-oh. Unload I. Okay. Let's go to the other side of the road, just in case it just pops it wherever. Unload I. Okay. It just spawns in that. Okay. But, so we're going to use, I think, the Massey, or not the Massey, the Farmall, and I just ran over the weight again. For the spraying, since it is faster, and I like it. So that means we have to put this on that, which isn't that bad. There we go. Does not affect the balance in the slightest. Okay, now we have to grab the line. This might be tricky because we put the planter in the way. And I'm bad at operating the thingy. Okay. So, theoretically, you lower it, and then go in. It's on. I did it! I loaded! Raise it up. Keep the angle so where it won't fall. Drive over the weights. Raise it up more and more. Yeah. Why? Oh, it is loading. Okay. There we go. 1,000 liters. And now we can... Oh no, there is no cover on this. We could put the lime down over there. If I could... I don't even know what I'm... Well, I put it down. Go down! Okay. Now we're gonna push ya. I pushed you sideways. That's not what I want to do. Why are mouse controls? Okie dokie. So now we can pluck this and then go put lime on our field. Which won't take that long. Before we bought this field, we did a fertilization contract on it with that sprayer, with that, which is slightly slower, and it did not take very long in the slightest. So let's get in our tractor. Lift fertilizer sprayer. That is lower. That is not lift. So lift. The only issue is I don't know where to, where the lines are. I'll be able to see it once we start. But before that, I don't know. Also, I think having these silos, like buying 22 was the right call, because once we can harvest things, we are basically home free. Okay. I'm gonna play it safe. Okay. And start right here. And turn on the sprayer and go like a bat out of hell. Okay. So this is the distance we want to keep. And we should be able to see, once we get around, what the ones covered in lime look like. In fact, we actually probably should be steering it. This field is not square. You go in a straight line, and it's not a straight line. Okay. Corners are difficult, but we can manage it. In fact, we took that a bit sharp. That's fine. Lime's cheap. We have plenty of it. Okay, and turn. Okie dokie. So yeah, we're about halfway done, and it's been a minute. Like, this might not be a great tractor. I'm definitely missing spots. In fact, I just missed a huge swath, didn't I? Map. Growth. Needs lime. Yeah, I missed a huge swath. I turned off my spreader. Okay, so I'm going to go back and fix that. I'm not sure when we will, but I should see white in front of me. Okay. And that should be fixed. Yeah, that's the issue with the canola, is it's not going to grow. If we did wheat, we would also have to bale the hay, though. Turn on the sprayer. My spacing was off, I think. We're missing some. But it's fine. Also, for some reason we're being... I guess the max working speed of this spreader is probably 20, because if you go faster, it doesn't get an even thing. It gets kind of sparse. Okay, and turn. Whoop. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit limey, and I think I need another drink. gin and tonic, even though I only have a little bit left, and then I'm gonna run out. But it's fine because it's almost the end of stream. I'm gonna go to bed. Every now and then I drink at farm, and I need a drink tonight, and I need it more than ever to hold me tight. I'll be farming on forever. Once upon a time I was farming in love, but now I'm only farming. Nothing I could say, total eclipse of the farm. Total eclipse of the farm. Okay. That is the issue. Is that what are we going to do when we're done with this? Like, the field, this is our only field. We cannot afford another field. So, at the end of the day, what the fuck are we gonna do for the next 6 months in game? I guess we could do contracts, but the plots on this map suck, so all the contracts take a long time because there are just too many of them. Okay. Around the corner. Okay. That's good enough for me. Turn off fertilizer spreader. There's no crop destruction, so we are fine. Thing is, this affects yields, which is good, but I don't know what the expected yield is. So I don't know how to tell if it's better. I know it will need weeding eventually. This thing is like a dream. Even though that's the thing, I bought this tractor specifically to move things around with the front hitch, because I suck at backing up trailers. Ended up that I couldn't use it for that because it's not real. Okay. Drop it off. I should have got what was left of the lime out of it, but I'll deal with that when I need it. I will also have to deal with this when I need it, which will be, I don't know when. Oh, that's a nice tractor. So yeah, let's just take a look. So, like, we could do some of these cultivating contracts. Oh, that one. These ones, I don't think we could do without renting. And we could rent, but it's still going to take a while, but it will give us a lot of money. So that might be worth it. Because, like, if we do this one, not only can we buy more land, which would be good, but we also have the benefit of, well, we have 200 grand. We could invest in a much better tractor, much better planter, hell of a lot better combine header. I think we're fine on the combine itself for a while. Like, the harvestings aren't that bad. It's just the transportation and the ones we're getting. Parsnips harvesting. Green beans. And you only get 3,000. It's a small field, but still. I don't have a green bean harvester, so I'd have to lease it, and then I'm only getting 2,000. Fucking cotton. Red beet. And the plowing, yeah, we have one that's big enough to really justify doing them, but it still would take forever. Plowing is not a quick job. we do have a spraying job now. And I do have time before bed. Accept contract. How do I fill the sprayer? Do I have a sprayer tank? I don't think I do. So we have to stop by the shop and buy... Yeah, I've only bought lime, fertilizer, and seeds. Ooh. It's a bit squirrely. But we should be fine. Let's see how it handles the bump at full speed. Whoa, we're going 53 kilometers an hour. Handled it like a champ. Okay. Like, we are definitely leaning quite a bit in turns. But I don't know if that really matters. Handling's good enough. I don't think we're going to tip. Okay. Yield improvements, consumables. Liquid fertilizer. So we have to supply our own fertilizer. So we want to cheap out as much as we can. Our 3,200. And it has to be liquid. Because, yeah, she did not give us any fertilizer. It just says herbicide. Wait, herbicide. Okay. Wait, herbicide. Herbicide is herbicide. Which is these two. Which are the exact same thing. I shall buy the one thing of helm, please. So that gets rid of 2,000 of our profit. So we're only going to be making 6,000 from this job. That's it. We first need to fill the tool. I'm working on it. Refill additional tank. I mean, we'll have left over to use for ourselves. Okay. Now we want to move up. Refill sprayer. There we go. Okay, now we're full up on herbicide. Now we need to make our way down to 12, which is down there. Which is actually a bigger field than I thought. But we do have 21 meters of width. Ooh, and yeah, our acceleration's much worse now that we have 1,700 liters of fluid with us. Though that would actually worsen it. The weight would help, but it would slosh around. But they don't have liquid physics, I guess. And it also has slowed the acceleration a bit, but that does not matter. Yeah, that's the thing. I prefer the smaller sprayer and using a smaller tractor, because these big tractors are nice, but their visibility is terrible. Like, cut the roof off. I don't need it. I'm not in real game. I'm in a room. Wait, how do I turn on my, because I bought the beacon lights. What's that key? Nope, controls. Controls, vehicles, driving, crab steering, driving direction, motor state, interactive vehicle. There we go. Vehicle work. Vehicle front loader, crane, placeable, game, camera, gearbox, lights. There we go. Home key. Yay, my beacon light's on. You can't see it because it's on my desk, but it's on. And I honestly kind of don't like it. Like, I like the beacon light. It's a cool thing that it came with the game. But it's not that realistic. Because beacon, well, there are a few different types of beacon lights. The one this one is imitating is one with a rotating, essentially, thing that blocks the light. So it goes around in circles. But there's also the kind where the light just goes on and off. Okay, so unfold sprayer X. It's still unfolding. Wow. Okay, and that's the height we want. So now... that is really wide. Now we reverse. Thankfully it is 3 points, so we don't really have to worry. And, oh god, the acceleration from 0 on this tractor sucks. I don't know if it's got like a torque converter or something, but like, you press the accelerator and it doesn't accelerate for like half a second. What's the advantage? I mean, herbicide, yeah, I understand. It's instead of weeding, you use that. And weeding is less efficient. It's just cheaper. Because this, it's costs a lot more. But at the end of the day, this is a lot quicker. And it's like, we're going to be able to get this field done in like 3 passes. Why is this not... it said herbicide. The fuck? Herbicide! What, you're not happy with the herbicide? The fuck? I'm spraying your field with herbicide and you don't care? Turn off the sprayer. What's going on? It's withered. What's the point? Weed partial. I just sprayed it with herbicide. What the fuck? So herbicide is not herbicide. We're now going to lose not only all of that. Okay, well, I'm folding my sprayer back up. Okay, I'm gonna sit still while that happens. And I'm gonna do donuts in your field and destroy it. Fuck you, Katie, or whatever your name was. You owe me like $20. I did all this work for you for no reward. Yes, lose all payment because somebody didn't, even though I was doing the work, didn't want to pay. Well, I guess that'll be it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night. Bye-bye.